This is part 2 of a series on understanding English by paying attention to word stress. Hi, I'm Marcia. This is English for non-native business executives. Please stay tuned. In the last video, we looked at the meaning of pronunciation, which is how a word is spoken or the sound of a word or set of words. We also looked at why it's important to pay attention to word stress, and I used a few examples to show you how confusing things can get when we don't pay attention to word stress. Remember, how a word is said affects how it's understood. I also told you that how a word is stressed is called its stress pattern. In this video, we will look at the first of 3 rules for how words are stressed in English. Bear in mind, there are often one or more exceptions to the guidelines used in English. The first rule we look at for understanding the stress pattern of English words is that for 2-syllable nouns and adjectives, the stress is on the first syllable. Let's look at a few examples. The first example we look at is city. We don't say city. A city is a large town. In a sentence, it would sound like, the city has a vibrant nightlife. The second example is chauffeur. We don't say chauffeur. A chauffeur is someone employed to drive passengers around in a private car. In a sentence, it would sound like, this chauffeur is so professional. Now for examples of 2-syllable adjectives. The first example is noisy. We don't say noisy. Noisy means given to a lot of noise. In a sentence, it would sound like, this city is noisy. The second example is careful. We don't say careful. Careful means avoiding possible danger. In a sentence, it would sound like, we've kept our chauffeur for many years because he's such a careful driver. Once again, remember that in English, you often find exceptions to a rule. So although nouns with 2 syllables are usually stressed on the first syllable, there are some exceptions. One exception is hotel. A hotel is a place that travelers and tourists go to for accommodation, meals, and other services. Another exception is lagoon. A lagoon is a stretch of salt water parted from the sea by a low sandbank or coral reef. Note that the stress is equal both on the first and last syllables of these words, unlike the other examples of 2-syllable nouns we looked at before. Now, although that's the case with these specific examples, there are numerous other nouns, which refer to people, places, and things, that are also used as verbs, which refer to actions. When that's the case, the stress patterns are different depending on whether the word is being used as a noun or a verb. That takes us to the second rule for understanding English using word stress. We'll cover that in the next video. In this video, we looked at the first rule for understanding the stress patterns of English words. Remember that for 2-syllable nouns and adjectives, the stress is on the first syllable. This will help you to listen to English more easily. You will also help others understand you better by speaking English correctly yourself. To start you off, you can download the worksheet I've prepared for you and do the quick exercises related to rule number 1. It will only take a few minutes, I promise. In the next video, we'll take a look at the second rule for word stress patterns in English. But before you go, if this video was useful for you, remember to like and share it with anyone else you think it can also help. Then use the link below to make your way over to my Facebook community where intermediate level, Non native English speaking business executives are welcome to ask questions, share their journey to becoming advanced English speakers, and connect with others on the same journey. I hope to see you there. And as always, cheers to your English upgrade.